In today's episode, I want to tackle one of the biggest problems facing engineering and built environment consultancies: undercutting fees. Too many firms are slashing fees just to win work, letting clients dictate terms and playing a dangerous race to the bottom. The truth is, doctors don't do this. Dentists don't do this. In fact, they charge more every single year. And once upon a time, engineers and people in the built environment industry were held in the same regard. So why did we stop valuing ourselves, and what needs to change? Hi, my name's Josh Stone, and I spent 10 years as a director and shareholder of a 3 million consultancy that we grew to a 30 million engineering, town planning, surveying, and architecture business. In today's episode, we're going to explore why undercutting is destroying profit, destroying culture in our industry, and how to reposition yourself to charge more, and what practical steps you can take to lift your fees and win better clients. So let's get into it. So team, the first big idea that I want to cover with you in today's episode is why undercutting your fees is a race to the bottom. And I want to explore this from a couple of different elements in terms of looking at clients and how they can be a bit cheeky. I want to talk about how every time we say yes to undercutting each other, we're eroding the industry. And I want to talk about competing on fees as well. So let's get into it. So the first big idea is why undercutting is a race to the bottom. I think it's really important to talk about. Let's talk about clients first. So, depending on the type of clients that you are working with and who your ideal client is, I don't know if you know this, but clients are actually trained to price check consultants. Different clients will do this regularly, semi-regularly. Certain parts of the industry will do it more often than not, but it's actually part of their formal training or their how they progress in their role within their organization. They're actually trained to price check consultants. Some clients I know full well have had hectic negotiation training and all that sort of stuff, but just fundamentally know that clients have been trained to price check you. And that's not their fault. We actually allow it. So consultants in this industry, we allow that. And they keep doing it because we keep allowing it. And so just because they've had formal training in it, it's part of their process, and hey, can you do a better deal, or can you just shave 5 or 10% off here? They keep doing it because consultants in the industry keep allowing it. So I think that's the first point to recognize, team, is that we are allowing this in terms of this race to the bottom. So I'm going to talk about some things and some ways to stand your ground more later on in today's episode. But I just want to let's open with that. Clients are trained to do it, and they keep doing it because we keep allowing it. And I want you to know that every discount, every time we say yes to dropping our fees, every time we say yes to being cheaper, every time we say yes to shaving that thing off our price, it erodes the perceived value of your services in the industry. And I'm really passionate about this because, like I said in the opening, doctors don't do it, dentists don't do it. And at some point we were the engineering built environment industry were revered in the same light as dentists and doctors. But at some point along the way, we just decided to start undercutting each other. And now it means that the margins in consulting businesses, are being threatened. So every discount, every time you say yes to dropping your price, it weakens the industry, it weakens this beautiful industry, and it weakens our perceived value. You think about when someone offers you something for free versus when you have to pay $50,000 for something. The free thing has no perceived value. The $50,000 thing has a high perceived value. And if we keep dropping our fees, we're lowering the perceived value of who we are and what we do. And competing on fees, again, we're competing against comrades. We're competing against other people we went to university with, people that have studied and gone through the 4 or 5 years, the hard slog that it takes to get the degree to become an engineer or a town planner or a surveyor or an architect. And us competing with each other means that we're competing for survival, not success. I'll say that again. Competing on fees means we're competing for survival, not success in the industry. And like I said, doctors and dentists have maintained this pricing power by holding firm. You just know that if you go to a GP or even then a specialist, you know that you're going to pay through the nose because they're good at what they do and they get results. And I think the consulting game needs to learn from this. We need to hold firm and stay true. And it starts with each of us, playing our part to holding firm and saying, look, I'm sorry, I can't go any cheaper than that. The price is a price. And I'll talk about some strategies in a second. But I think each of us need to play our part to start to lift back up our industry to get to a place where we can all charge what we're worth and make really, really good margins in our business. Because the cost of undercutting and being cheaper is there's no profit in your business. So when you start a project with no profit in it, it leads to overwork, it leads to stress and burnout. There's zero buffer or zero budget to make mistakes or anything like that. Like when you're starting out, because you've undercut to win the project, there's no margin left. And so there's stress, there's pressure, all those sorts of things. And then you get to the end of, the quarter or the year, and you're like, what's all this been for? Like as a business owner, you want to be seeing nice, healthy margins come through your business. And if you get to the end of the quarter or the financial year and you're like, I've made single digit profit margins, it's like, what's all this for? I may as well, as a business comrade once said to me, we may as well just go fishing. So that's the first big idea, team, why undercutting is a race to the bottom. So team, the second big idea, or the second thing that I want to talk to you about is this whole process of starting to reclaim your value and starting to position yourself like a professional. So like I said, like historically, engineers and like in the built environment profession, we were on par with doctors and dentists. We allowed that fall to happen when, the industry commoditized itself by saying yes to everything and dropping prices. And so like this has been a steady decline that's happened over years. And I've been talking about it for many years, where we just keep dropping our prices and keep trying to be cheaper. We have to start the process of reclaiming value and positioning ourselves like the professionals that we are. And I really, really believe that because there's two ways you can run your business: scarcity mindset or a growth mindset. And scarcity mindset says, oh, I've got to be the cheapest and I've got to, I've got to shave money off my prices and I've got to do this so the client gives me work and I've got to, be the cheapest so that I can get a foot in the door and all those sorts of things. That is a scarcity mindset. And that is an awful and terrible way to build your business. We want to jump into the growth mindset, which is I am good at what I do. I get amazing results from my clients. I have an awesome team behind me. We've saved our clients X, Y, and Z dollars over the last however many years or however many projects. We're good at what we do. And so rebuilding this value piece and this positioning piece in the market starts with you, and it starts with your mindset. I am good at what I do. Stop apologizing for your fees. It's like your fees are good. And if you think about it, depending on what industry you play in, like your fees are a fraction of a percent or sometimes a percent of construction costs or what it takes to actually build the project. So like your fees staying firm and clients haggling you on fees is really going to make no difference to the overall budget of the project. It's just a game that they play with you. So stop apologizing for your fees, start standing firm, start standing strong on your fees, and start to rebuild your self-esteem as a business owner. As you start to do that, your team will start to respect you more because they're like, oh, thank goodness we've got breathing room. You'll thank yourself more because you're building more margin into your business, and you'll start to actually build a business or get to that end game that is the reason why you started your business. Good profits coming in, you can pay good dividends, you can start to invest some of that money outside of the business into other things. You're building that nest egg, like all those things that you started your business for come from good profit. So stop apologizing for your fees and start charging what you're worth. The other thing I want to talk about is niching and becoming a specialist. So we talk a lot in Boardroom about like this inch wide, mile deep. Which is, instead of being a generalist and all things to all people, position yourself as a specialist, inch wide in the marketplace, but go mile deep, meaning that you know everything there is to know about the players, the standards, the authorities, the clients in that particular niche, and start to position yourself as a specialist and the go-to person in that niche. Because once you become a specialist, you're no longer a commodity. There's no longer other people that can do stuff for you cheaper. So start to position yourself as a specialist, charge more. You're no longer a commodity. You're playing in a niche industry and you've got niche services. And you command respect through, your expertise in the marketplace, your branding, your authority, and not being the cheapest. You command respect. I want to say that again. You command respect through expertise, brand, and authority, and by not being the cheapest. So when you say yes to cutting your fees to a client, and when you say yes to dropping your prices, your client's respect for you goes down. They might still give you the project, but they don't respect you. So you command respect through expertise, building brand, and not being the cheapest. And the third big idea that I want to talk to you about today, team, is looking at ways where you can stop undercutting, stop being the cheapest, stop dropping your fees, and start charging more. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about here. So pen and paper out, let's get into it. And these are all things that we obviously teach our clients in Boardroom. First thing is choose an ideal client profile. So really get clear on who that ideal client is, and make sure that we've got a model that we run with our clients, which is, who do I really like to work with? What's the work that I love to do, and who is the client, or who is the person that has the money that can pay me what I'm worth. So really think about your ideal client through the lens of those three questions. Who do I like to work with? What's work that I love to do and can get good outcomes? And who has the money to pay me what I'm worth? And the intersection of those is your ideal client or your niche in the marketplace. So really get clear on your ideal client profile first. Second thing is developing like frameworks, methodologies, and IP that differentiate you from other people. So really work out ways like the results that you get for your clients. How do you stand out from the crowd? How do you, what proven results have you gotten for your clients in the past? All of those things go to building credibility for you in the marketplace and mean that you can stop charging less and you can start to charge more. So develop like your USP, your unique offering in the marketplace. Hold a line. So the third thing I want to talk to you about is like create like a minimum fee or like a walkaway pricing, so you never dip below like not doing profitable work. So really have like a walkaway point at which you're not prepared to go past any further, so that you go, cool, these are my standards. This is what it costs to work with me. If you're not interested in that, cool, I'm going to walk away. Because like I said before, you may as well just go fishing. Because if you do work for no profit or negative profit, you're putting so much more stress on you, your team, and your business than if you just didn't do the work and you went out there and spent that time that you were going to spend on the low profit project. Go out there and actually, hunt for some better work and hunt for some better clients. So create that like minimum walkaway line based on self-worth and self-respect that you're prepared to walk away at. The other thing too is like build consistent pipeline systems, use LinkedIn, use referral channels, like use ways like as a business owner, we should be spending at least half of our week, and I know this is going to trigger some people, but we want to get to a point where at least half of our week is being spent on marketing, BD, moving opportunities forward, because I don't want you going through that feast or famine approach that most consultancies go through, where it's like go and win a project, get busy delivering, poke your head up and go, crap, got no pipeline, get back out there and win some more work, head down delivering, all those sorts of things. So build a consistent pipeline system in your business, like LinkedIn outreach, referral partners, and that sort of stuff, to reduce dependency on any single client pressure. So you want to have so many irons in the fire from a BD and lead gen point of view that if one client turns around and says, hey, can you shave 20% off your price? You can just confidently go, you know what? No, I can't. And be okay to walk away from that work because you're confident in the pipeline of work coming through from your business. And the last thing I want to say is like, this is something that I'm really passionate about doing. And this is something that we talk about with everyone in Boardroom. I'm big on like raising prices, increasing your fees. Don't like pander to clients who want to just, treat you as a commodity. We need to come together as an industry and raise the tide together instead of pulling each other down. Like when I see consultancies going, oh yeah, I'll do it for 5% less than them just to win the work, I'm like, you're just eroding the industry. You're undercutting each other. And that nothing good is going to come from this. Like it might be a short-term win for you from a project point of view, you might get that across the line, but you're eroding our industry and you're making it harder for you in the future to actually win work, because clients just have this expectation that people will drop their fees and that consultants get cheaper. So I think we need to come together, and this is a bit of a call to arms, collaborate as an industry, raise the tide together. Let's start saying no to dropping prices and undercutting each other and actually going, we are actually really good at what we do. High levels of self-worth. We need to raise our fees, not drop them. All right. I now, it wouldn't be a podcast episode without a client win, in terms of just like sharing an example of someone that has lived this experience and has gone through the whole process. So I want to tell you a quick story about a client called Andrew. Like, we've been working with him for about 3 years now. He went through all of this in terms of fee pressure, being a generalist, all things to all people. And, he really, through the process of working together, resisted that fee pressure. He really niched down, found his inch wide, mile deep in the marketplace, started to upgrade his presence in the marketplace, started to like land better work, bigger margins, and like just start to work with better clients through the whole niching down process. He's actually just had, I think, back-to-back record months from an invoicing point of view too. So like, this stuff actually works, team. So like, he was stuck saying yes to everything. He had clients pushing his fees down. We worked on repositioning him, setting clear, I guess, minimums, his walk away point of view, or his walk away pricing, and looking at his packaging value in terms of like, how does the value that he brings to the marketplace. So yeah, he's attracting high value clients. He's stopped discounting. He's starting to build a team. He's hitting amazing margins. And the big shift has just been respecting his own value first, which, once you start to respect your value first, that makes your clients respect it too. So just wanted to tell you that short story about Andrew. All right, team, that wraps up today's episode. The key takeaway here is simple. Stop undercutting fees. Competing on price is a losing game. Instead, reclaim your value, position yourself as a specialist, and put the right systems in place so you can charge more and win better work. And team, if you'd like to learn more about running a more efficient and profitable consultancy, increasing revenue, building a business that gives you both profit and freedom, I'd love to invite you to check out our 10 million plus consultancy roadmap training. It's a step-by-step guide that shows you how to grow, whether you're at 1 million, 3, 5, or 10, and helps you get to that level and beyond. So the link below to the free training is below this episode. Thanks, team. Talk to you soon.